Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Well, here in South Africa, it's the afternoon. But well, I know that in other places, it's like just sunny. Some places, and you are watching Clevenard Open Project. Today, we are here with a very phenomenal woman, a powerhouse, who is a Director General of UJUPSA. Ma'am, how are you, ma'am? Can you just introduce yourself and greet people out there at home? How are you from me, Bonky Gladness?
I'm very well, thanks for having me. My name is Odigie-Oyegun, and I am the Director General of the John Odigie-Oyegun Public Service Academy called JUPSA.
Jupsa, yes. I think I have to correct myself right there. It's Jupsa. It's all about education, education. That's all you're going to hear about. And you're going to know how it was established and all of that. But then us as Clevenard Open Project, we just want to hear it all. And I know that you, even there at home, you can't wait. Here we discuss Africa on behalf of Africans in diaspora as well. So yeah, I just want to hear more because it's a person. Tell us more about yourself, ma'am. I know that your name is Ma'am Precious, but then I want you yourself to be the one to tell us in full your name and yourself as like in general. Who are you?
All right, so my name is Precious Imuwahe-Ajanu. I am the Director General of the John Odigie-Oyegun Public Service Academy. We're a startup, if you like, public service academy in Edo State. The institution is the brainchild of the current governor of Edo State, Governor Godwin Nogegase Obaseki. And the thinking behind JUPSA is the Excellency Faith always says that the civil and public service is the engine of government. And if you want government to run as it should, then of course, as a matter of urgency, if you like, you must upskill the civil and public servants. So what we are doing at JUPSA is that we want to strengthen public service institutions through capacity building.
Oh yeah, but then now JUPSA is abbreviated. If maybe you can just tell us in full, what is
So,
JUPSA?
yeah, so JUPSA stands for the John Odigie-Oyegun Public Service Academy. It's owned by Edo State government, and our reach is Africa. So from JUPSA in Edo, if you are a public servant anywhere in Africa, of course you can come and get proper public sector knowledge.
And then JUPSA, when was it really established? Someone might want to know, when did all this start?
Very good question. We're very new. We're very happy to say that we're the new kids on the block. We're just a year old. It was launched last year. We were established by law in June last year. But in terms of the early work to operationalize JUPSA, started 2 years ago. Yeah, so we're very young and very exciting also public service academy.
But now, so far, how has it been? If you can just tell us from then to now, like, what do you think about the academy? Where do you see it for future sake, actually?
So as someone who studied change management, I think this is really exciting. Two questions I had in particular coming into this is number one, are civil and public servants going to be willing to learn, to embrace learning in that sense? And then the second question was, would a person from outside, because I used to work in the private sector, coming into government, how would I be received, etc., etc.? And I'm very happy to say I just finished a meeting today with the body of permanent secretaries, heads of MDAs. I'm very excited that we've been very well received. It was a review meeting, so I wanted to get like feedback. Last year, we trained over 7,000 workers. Over 7,000 people got trained. And the feedback across all departments, ministries, agencies has been widely positive. It's not unusual. I think we had maybe one person even cry last year after a training saying that, I've been in the service for so long, I've not had any training like this, and this has happened. And we've had all sorts of faculty come. We've had people come from the US, we've had people come from Europe, Norway, we've had, experts come from Lagos, some of them in Benin to train our public servants. And I think what they really appreciate is the fact that the quality of training that they get is comparable to anyone anywhere in the world. Another thing that I'd like to talk about, Jupsa, I really wish I could do a tour so that you could just see our environment. It's extremely world class. We were very intentional in terms of how we've set up our space. So you come into Jupsa and you're immediately invited to a learning experience. So for us, learning is not just happening in the classroom. It's also how everything runs. It's the customer service. It's
the environment. Yeah, like the environment be attractive. The environment must also show that it's all about learning, and there must be a peace of mind around it. I can imagine.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm hearing you talking about adults. Can you just tell us exactly, Jupsa, is it a high school, explain to the people so people can know what is exactly Jupsa? Is it a university? What is it?
So it's interesting, it's neither Jupsa is no high school. Jupsa is not a university as well. It's a public service academy. So I think the easiest way to explain it is think about the government in your city, whether you live in South Africa, Cape Town, Pretoria, wherever in the world you live. If you live in the UK, for example, like I used to, if you live in Lagos, anywhere in the world that you live in, there's such a thing called government that manages, your city, right? That enables businesses to thrive, makes sure that you're safe, etc. JUPSA is a school for government. So our primary task is to train government officials to ensure that you, the citizens of these cities, get the kind of experience, you get the kind of value that you should get from government. I'll just quickly talk about one of the courses that we run. We call it Government as a Service. I remember the first time that we would run this course, somebody had their hand up and they were very surprised to find out that government was doing a service. Are we supposed to be, are you asking us to now not collect taxes from them? Or what are you trying to say? You want us to be nice to the citizens? And I'm like, think about it this way. They're your customers. If I pay taxes to you, best believe that I'm paying taxes with an expectation. You as government have to make sure that my expectations are met. So our job at JUPSA is to make sure that the people who run government understand the rudiments of government. That you're not there to oppress people, you're not there to lord it over people, but you're there to serve people. And so those are the kind of things that they come to learn in class. Because often we just assume that people should know that, I work for government, I'm there to serve. But shocker, you'll be really surprised how many people have no clue what the business of government is and they work for government. Our job is to correct that.
Okay. Wow, it's so interesting. Like, I've never heard of this. It was a good thing that I asked because I'm like, whoa, right now I'm in awe. And I'm like, okay, it's so interesting. Maybe if you can tell us, what is your future in terms of maybe expanding to other countries? Do you have that in your maybe plan? Because it's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting expansion. I think for us primarily, we want to get it right at home first. The thinking is, if you create a framework that works very well in Edo State as a subnational in Nigeria, you can replicate it across other subnationals, and then you can take it to federal level. And then when it works for Nigeria, it's also easy for you to say, okay, what other countries are in the global north that might benefit from an institution like this? Or you might say, oh, I want to focus on Africa, or maybe even start from West Africa. So for us, we've started, it's exciting. We're already having conversations with our neighbors, so the states in the southern part of Nigeria, to say, instead of traveling so very far away to get training, why not come and adopt JUPSA as your center? And we're already getting a lot of positive feedback. So for us, we want to be a truly Pan-African brand. We want you to come to do a course or two here and all of that. So we do have a very bullish 10 years strategic plan in that direction.
Wow. My interest is for you to expand into other countries. I just can hear, as I'm listening, I'm like, this is a good idea.
Yep.
Because we have these people who call themselves government officials and politicians and parliamenticians, but they're not doing the right thing. They do need the training because some of them are not even educated. Some of them they were last at school, maybe as in like even primary grades. So it's like they're just there and they are leading people who are very well educated. It's not fair. So I like the academy in terms of that, because it's able to train people to be able to know how to govern. So it's interesting. It's really interesting. It's really interesting. I love it already, and I feel like, you know what, this is what every country could want to have, or what every country should have. And then I just wanted to understand, you know, there's always advantages and disadvantages in anything. So I want to know, what are so far, since you've started already, what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages that you a little bit highlighting?
Yeah, I think for us, the advantages are legion. You know, if you think about the civil and public servant as the engine of government, right? If you have a skilled workforce, if you have civil and public servants who understand why they're in government in the first place, it means that the multiplier effect for your economy will become, there'll be a whole lot of benefits, right? Every touch point, from the airports, the people who greet you when you come into the country, to the ease of doing business, to all the different experiences that you will have, it will be positive, because now you're working with people who understand the primary purpose of why they're doing the job. So the upsides are many. In terms of the downsides, I think one of the things, when I think about it deeply, is we should have started this yesterday, way before now, because in a lot of successive military governments, etc., it appears that there's some really huge skills gap between the public service holders you had when I was younger, talk about my parents' generation, to what you have now. So in my parents' generation, the best talent anywhere in the world, especially in Nigeria, went to the public service. So if you were very intelligent, if you were very smart, you go to work for government. But what has happened over time, unfortunately, is I'm trying to choose my words very carefully, but I'll just say it. The never do wells of society,
Yes,
who end up in
must be
the
told.
public.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, it makes sense that, you know, we have all the very complex challenges that we have, because you're dealing with people who have no business, you know, running a country, for example. So
Yeah.
one of the things that I think is, we need this, and we need it everywhere, not just in Edo State. We need to have mini jupsas everywhere. We need to have started this since. I worry sometimes that there are going to be a lot of generational gaps. We might not be able to close all of the skills gap that we've met. We have so many inherited problems. So we should have started this sooner. But I always say, at least now we've started. So that's a good thing. It's better than not starting at all. But
Yeah,
yeah, we
exactly.
definitely should have started it before
And
the road got this bad.
yes, of course. And there's always the right time to start something. You know, you may think that it's too late, only to find that this is the right time for you. And there's a lot that's going to happen because of the time you started with. You find you have the right timing, and you are thinking, no, we could have done this long time ago, only to find that this is the right time for it. So, but then, do you have other people that you work with, maybe who are institutions or who are organizations? If you want to even mention them, this is a platform.
Yeah. So yes, we do have institutional linkages. We have a partnership with Nexford University. It's an American online university. So yes, we work together to train our civil and public servants. We want to deepen partnerships with organizations around the world and things like that. So yes, we do. And then of course we work very closely with our local institutions here as well, just to make sure that the training that we give, number one, they are relevant. Number two, it's competency based, of course. And number three, people are able to get the skills that they can immediately take to their offices and replicate it, you know, across the board.
Yeah, yeah. But in your enrollment, so far, how many people did you enroll? Like when you started, maybe until now?
Yeah, so far we've trained over 7,000. This year we want to train 10,000 people.
Oh, wow.
Very ambitious over here, and there's no reason. Another thing is we leverage technology. So we do some of this training happen online. So it's not all in plans, or you don't always have to come here. Some of the training you can access, log on to, anywhere really. You could do a training with us just, from sitting on your couch, just by logging on.
But in terms of marketing, since you've just started just last year, what have you been doing to expand on to create awareness or to raise awareness out there?
It's very interesting. For a brand that is 1 year old, I think you have to be living under a rock in Edo State not to have heard of us. That's the first thing. So one of the things that we've done, we have a website. We do have social media handles. If you find JUPSA across all social media platforms, you find us. We have tons of Telegram groups, WhatsApp groups, all of those things we do. So every class that we have, after each class, we organize people into a cohort and we put them in groups just to make sure that the conversations continue post-class. So we also use traditional media. If you Google search me, for example, you find a lot of interesting things that will come up. If you Google search the organization, you find a lot of interesting things. So we have a blend of traditional media and, of course, new media as well. Facebook, all of these fun things, influencer marketing and things like that.
But then if you were to unpack, especially what you are planning to do for future and other plans you're having about maybe enrolling even more people, or even unpacking the whole future of JUPSA, what can you tell me, and the people out there?
I think for us, what's really exciting is JUPSA seeks to answer a question. And I'll ask you, so the research question is, can we strengthen public service institutions through capacity building? That's the big question. And I think so far we're still answering. I mean, we have a few more years, at least in the next 5 years, we'll probably come back and tell you that the answer is emphatically yes. But I think I can almost say now that the answer is yes. We are seeing changes in our processes. We are seeing changes in how government does business. We do surveys. I was just looking at some survey results the other day, and a lot of people giving us positive reviews when they come to interact with government. And let me say this as a Nigerian, this is supremely important. It's very rare that you find a Nigerian person who is excited to interact with government at any level. It's a scary thing. It's a scary endeavor. You don't think like, oh, I'm in my beauty salon, I'm going there. Oh, I'm just going to the government office. Oh, I'm so chilled about it. Says nobody ever. Nobody. Typically you're scared. Government is looking for you. They're calling you. Have I done something wrong? You're frightened. So we're changing all of that. We're changing the mindset around governance. We're changing the behaviors. We're introducing people to new ways of working. So I think it's something that over time, now it's new, yes, but we're already seeing early results. But I can tell you for free, if it's sustained over time, what we expect to see are tangibles. And what do I mean by that? We should be able to track the correlation between training and cost savings, for example, or cultural changes, for example. So yes, so there's a lot of promise in terms of institutional strengthening if people have capacity to do the jobs that they've been hired to do.
Okay, have you had graduates so far, and how many? If last year you had graduations?
Yeah, so we've had 7,000 people graduate from different programs.
Oh wow! Oh, okay. This is amazing. Maybe I should enroll myself.
You should.
This is so. So do you also do online? Maybe.
Yes.
If someone interested out there, do you do online?
We do online as well. So, for example, okay. Our partner Nextford University is a 100% online American university. So all the courses that we run with them happens on your laptop or on your phones.
Okay. Now I want to talk about us as Clevenard. How do you view us? What do you think about us? Maybe as an institution ourselves. Maybe with what we do as a production in the media. What can you say about Clevenard?
Yes, I think I just learned about you recently, and for me, every time I'm very big on doers. Many people like to talk. Very few people do, right? So when I see people in the arena, people who want to get something done, I'm usually impressed. because it's very difficult to actually take action. It's easy to think about ideas, talk about ideas, but it's very hard to get something done, right? So I typically like to support people who are doing stuff. I like that it's, targeted, I like that Africans in diaspora are thinking about the country.
Yeah.
That's another good thing. Because at the end of the day, right, again, I am not against legal migration. I think there's a lot of things that we can benefit from legal migration, not the illegal ones. However, I like also the possibilities that exist in terms of knowledge exchanges. There's no reason why, for example, you cannot become a faculty for JUPSA if you have an expertise that you can train on. So I think for your brand, for Cleveland, I do like what you people are doing. Clearly, that's why I'm here. Um, I would like to see, of course, I'm going to challenge you to have more traction because I tried to sample opinions and ask about you, and very few people knew that you existed. So I think that you have. I'm just going to challenge you by the end of this year to have very concrete plans to improve your reach. But yes, it's a great thing that you're doing. It's a great thing that you're asking about what we're doing, and then of course letting people know that things like this exist. So it's a beautiful platform. Well done.
Oh, thank you so much. And then about the books and other things, that the resources that you use. And thank you so much for the compliment of Clevenard. But about the books that you use, like the resources for people, can you explain? Maybe someone, I'm just thinking now that someone might be thinking, but then what about the books? Like, what do they do about resources? What will I need if I enroll? What can you tell them?
So, I mean, typically we would look at the public service literature, right? So, for example, if you enroll for a public policy class, you will typically have to buy books around public policy from thought leaders across the world, depending, as the case may be. It's the same for whether you're coming to enroll for a class on leadership, etc. I'm an author myself, just finished my first book, which will be available everywhere. So yes, we're not reinventing the wheel. There's so many people who have written and done really great stuff across the world, and we leverage all these materials.
Oh, wow. Okay. So from us as Clevenard, we are very excited also to be having you more on our platform as well, because I know this is not the last time. We'll have more of you. And again, for me, actually, like from me, I feel like this place, whatever that you started, it's a sacred place for people. It's an incredible institution that will help people who actually want to be leaders one day, or who wish to do great, who actually also want to work for people. That's what I'm actually having myself to say. This is so great and it's amazing, and I'm in awe already. And I know that out there's someone who's already saying, wow, I want to do this, and I'm going to make sure that I follow them up, and I want to know more about them. What is it that you can give us for the people out there to follow you?
Yeah, so I mean, we are available on all platforms. So you can find us on jupsa .edostate.gov. So if you typically just Google JOOPSA, JUPSA, or the John Odigie-Oyegun Public Service Academy, our website will pop up. You can find us across social media handles, JUPSA_Edo State. So we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. You can find the John Odigie-Oyegun Academy, Public Service Academy on Facebook. And you can find us on LinkedIn. So we have a LinkedIn community striving. So, and then you can find me also on LinkedIn, Precious Muwahe Ajonu, and add me up. I'm on Facebook. I'm everywhere that people are, X and all of that. So yeah, you can find us.
And also soon they'll find you on Clevenard as well. If they could go deeper, they'll also find you on clevenard.com. So yeah.
Awesome. So you can find me.
You are a great, phenomenal woman. You are so amazing. I feel so honored to be having you here. But I just want you to give us the last word, like maybe of encouragement or anything for the people out there.
For me, it's just important to say that life belongs to the people in the arena. I'm a doer. I could sit down and say, you know what, I'm Nigerian or I'm a Bini girl, all the odds are stacked against me and do nothing. But I am very conscious of how temporal life is. And I want to spend my time doing work that matters, period. And I think most people should spend their time doing work that matters. And guess what? If you man your corner, because often we complain about so many different issues, but we don't man our corner. Jupsa is our corner. I run this place and make sure I run it excellently. If you,
Yes,
the
excellent.
other person,
That's
we
good.
all promote excellence in what we do. What's the result? We're going to get an Africa. We're going to get a world that is the better for it. So please go man your corner. Go mind your business.
Wow, I like that. Go do your business because it's also biblical. If I were to say, even God said, go do business. So it's business is business. And also, I like the fact that you're saying excellence, excellence. Everything that you do, perfect it. Perfect your craft. Be excellent in whatever you do. And when you do it in a way that people would actually see who you are in it. And do it with your whole heart so that you'll be excellent. It's That's the part that I actually like. And thank you so much. It was an honor to have you here on Clevenard Open Project, where we discuss Africa on behalf of Africans and in diaspora, you know, also maybe even globally. Maybe there are certain people who are even seeing us, you never know, from afar. So I was very, 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 very honored to be having you, and I'm still honored even now because I know that it's not over. I will still see you some other time as well. So thank you so much, Mrs. Precious Emuwahin. So like, I don't even know if maybe I could be saying more and saying things that are not even good, especially in terms of your name. But so far, what I can say, everything that you've said here, it is truly inspiring. I want to say it first. It is truly inspiring. And I know that people out there, they're also feeling the same way. And they're also saying the same thing. Hence, they watched all the things that you said that are inspiring about Jupsa. Jupsa is great. Jupsa is amazing. And Jupsa will have more things for the people, and it's going to have a brighter future. You heard it from me. Jupsa has a brighter future. Let me just say it as a present tense. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. May you be blessed, and Jupsa, may it also has more from the people and globally as well. Thank you, Mami.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Well, from me, Bongi Gladness, it's a wrap with us Clevenard Open Project, where we discuss Africa on behalf of Africans. From me, Bongi Gladness, is a goodbye. Bye, ma'am.
Bye.